Hello guys, so in the last tutorial we talked about how to create components and we created the hotel component. So in this tutorial, the goal of this tutorial is to learn how to use this component, and to use this component it should be firstly registered, and it should be registered in the AppModule.TypeScript file. And we said that we use components in Angular to build applications, and we use modules to bundle pieces of our applications or components into packages. So basically, what is a module? So a module is simply a bundle of functionalities of our application, which gives information to Angular on which features does the application has and use. So here you can see that the app module is basically an empty class that is exported, and attached to this class is a special decorator, which is the ng module. And the ng module is imported from the Angular core. So the ng module which takes an object with 4 properties, and the first property we have is the declaration, the second is the import, the third is the providers, and the fourth is the bootstrap. So we are going to explain what those properties actually do. So firstly, we are going to start with this bootstrap. So we said the bootstrap, which is responsible. So this bootstrap is responsible for telling Angular of which application it should be aware of at the point of time the application starts. So that means which component it should recognize in the index.html file, and that was the app component. So if you open the index.html file, you're going to see this app root, which is the root component, as we explained earlier. So that is bootstrapping our application. So it simply informs Angular of which application you should be aware of at the point of time the application starts. So as you can see here, since the index.html file, so we don't have to add any other component in this file. So that means this bootstrap array here is going to remain untouched. So we are not going to add any component to this bootstrap array, because the only component we have in the index.html file is the app component. So that is actually the only component we need when the application starts or runs, so the app component. So still, we need to add a new component to Angular, which is the hotel component, which needs to be registered in the module so that Angular knows that this component exists. So because Angular will not scan all your files to know that a component exists, so that is why it needs to be registered, and that is done by using this declaration property. So as you can see, the declaration property also takes an array, and here you can see the app component that is being registered in this declaration. So the next thing we are going to add here is the component we want to register, and which component we want to register is a component we created earlier, which is this hotel component. So here we are going to add hotel component. So just like that. And when you add the hotel component, you make sure to import it here, and then add the path. So here my editor just imported it automatically for me. So you can see in this declaration, the app component is being registered, and the hotel component as well is being registered. So guys, that is how you register a component in Angular. So we created a custom component here, which is the hotel component, and then to use this component, it has to be added in this app module file inside the declaration property, which takes an array. So that is basically how you add a component, and after adding this component, then it's ready to be used. So we are going to also see this import. So in the import is simply responsible of importing other modules to this module file, because you can split your application. As we said, you can split your application. The application can be splitted into various modules and then imported into this file. And Angular itself is already by default splitted. That is why here you can see there are some modules that is being imported here. So here some modules can be imported, and we are going to see the role of this provider later when we are going to see when we are going to look at services. So guys, basically in general, that is how you register a component after creating it. So in the next tutorial, we are going to effectively use the hotel component. So guys, thank you for watching this tutorial, and we're going to meet in the next tutorial. Goodbye.